no lighter. High as the empire, feel like I'm walking on wires. Say I blows loud Mariah, got me looking for that Keisha. Spin them high notes, Aretha, blowing smooth out a meter.
I blow homegrown, hit rival shop shit. And when I crack the darn neck snap, the nose twitch. Keep you looking K9 on some dope shit. Step out the whip, baby, like right on that frog shit. I'm on that fat chop, hazard balls home shit. You on that skinny joint, that bathroom at your mom shit. The forecast for my house, say watch out for that smoke shit. The forecast for your house, say clear skies today shit. I'm just saying, blow all day and this is RMK and you niggas playing. I'm just saying, blow all day and hot box stating, Grand Canyon saving, yeah.
Mariah on that Jeep in no lighter. High as the empire, feel like I'm walking on wires. Say I blows loud Mariah, got me looking for that Keisha. Spin them high notes, Aretha, blowing smooth out the leader. I blows loud Mariah on that Jeep in no lighter. High as the empire, feel like I'm walking on wires. Say I blows loud Mariah, got me looking for that Keisha. Spin them high notes, Aretha, blowing smooth out the leader.
Smoking pound after pound, drinking round after round. We getting loud by the leaders, that's just how we getting down. Jay knocks the house when they repeat that when I come around. And your pockets loose, chains, great blunts, and I'm out. City of the scope, speed slow to that dump. Choking on my throat, got me coughing out smoke. Keisha bad chick, where I'm from, she keeps me smiling. She coming like green, so I never stop lighting. Down to the wire, burn my fingers, saving doobies in the whip. Hot box music for the blazers, yeah, we choosing roach clips. Don't wanna burn my lips, grip tight, fun with blunts. Never held my fingers when we riding around, nigga.
I blows loud Mariah on that Jeep in no lighter. High as the empire, feel like I'm walking on wires. Say I blows loud Mariah, got me looking for that Keisha. Spin them high notes, Aretha, blowing smooth out the meter. I blows loud Mariah on that Jeep in no lighter. High as the empire, feel like I'm walking on wires. Say I blows loud Mariah, got me looking for that Keisha. Spin them high notes, Aretha, blowing smooth out the meter.
All right, there we go. Apparently, I'm a complete idiot. I forgot to turn the microphone on, so I've been sitting talking for like about a minute for no reason. High Tide Steak, live Tuesday from Tampa, Florida. From the Tampa Bay area, coming to you more directly live from Gulfport, but it's like, I don't know, it's like Whitefield or Security out in Colorado. If you say that, half the people are going to know where the hell you're talking about. So it's easier if we just tell you Tampa. On the docket today, I like to say docket because it just feels like we're taking everybody to court here. But on the docket today, we have, of course, the legislative roundup for this week. Basically, what's going on in politics. Ted Cruz wants to deny access to this country to any Syrian refugees who cannot pass a Christian test, essentially saying if you're not Christian, you're not welcomed in America. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. I've got some pretty strong feelings about that too, and Mr. Cruz myself. We'll talk about that. It's Taco Tuesday, so we got to talk weed and food. How do we infuse what? What do we want to infuse today? Let's ask Kelly. Kelly's in the studio. She's getting ready to go to work, but she's in the studio right now, so we're going to ask her, what would you infuse?
What was that?
What would you infuse with weed?
I don't know.
What's your favorite food? And maybe I can look up and see how you infuse it.
I have no idea.
You don't know what you like to eat? So if you walked home, okay, here, we're gonna set the stage for here, guys. We're gonna paint the picture, as we like to say in the sales world. So if you were starving, I know, right? You're not high right now. So like, I don't fucking know what I want when I'm high. I'm not high right now. I gotta be high to know what I want high. But no, what I mean is like, if you just got off work, you're starving. You can go to any fast food place, so you can come home, open your fridge, and when you open that fridge, that's what you want to see. What's that? Are you really drawing a blank?
Yes. Sometimes when I'm hungry, sometimes I never know what I'm hungry for sometimes.
I got that problem too. That's why I like being high, because high, everything looks good. What do you want to get when you're sober? I don't know. Where do you want to go out to eat? Mm-hmm. What do you want to drink? Mm-hmm. Even liquor. What kind of drinks you want to have this weekend? Mm-hmm. Get me stoned. What do you want to eat? What do we have?
Steven!
Gotta love kids. Well, you don't gotta love them, but you probably should. Just saying. I mean, don't be a dick, right? No, I know. I'm saying in general, to my public, I'm like, guys, you don't have to like kids, but do you really want to be the dick who doesn't like kids? I'm like, you can temporarily not like kids. I'm okay with that. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, my son is my ride or die. So I'm like, you might be a pain in the ass. He might be a pain in the ass. He might get under my nerve, under my skin, but he's still my kid.
At the end of the day, we'll always have our kids back.
Yep, pretty much. I mean, unless you murder somebody maliciously. I mean, if my kid turns out to be a serial killer, I'm not exactly going to have their back. I mean, let's be honest. But so, excuse me. We have a very quick day today, so we have to stay on schedule. We can't get behind schedule because I do have to work my regular job at like the butt crack of dawn. That's why, of course, we're kicking off today at 7 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 4 in the Pacific, because I have to be to work at 9, so I have to pretty much get out of the studio by 8. So with that said, we're going to jump right into it. California looking for a pot czar is one of our lead stories today. Also, the High Times World Cannabis Cup results are in. So we're going to talk about some of this food, put it up. We're going to put pictures of it up on the screen, but there's a bunch of different foods that won different awards. And since it is Taco Tuesday, and we try to talk, we talk music on Monday, we talk food on Tuesday, and then shit gets real on Wednesday because it's hump day. So we're going to talk food today. We're going to talk about the winners of the 2015 World Cannabis Cup winners for edibles. And there is some, let me just tell you, first off, weed people got issues because everything in here is like sugar and candy, cake. That's who wins. You want to know how to win? You want to know how to win a pot cooking contest?
That's my thing.
Infused ice cream. You know, I believe I've had infused ice cream. Eddie, I believe it was Eddie Edibles from Colorado, from Denver, Colorado, is the company. Eddie Edibles. I don't want to throw them under the bus, but they are in a big, huge ordeal right now. Something to do with pesticides. But on the flip side of Eddie Edibles' recent pesticide issues, they actually had a really, really good ice cream. So if you are looking for that pot ice cream, I would say that Eddie Edibles is probably not a bad way to go. Probably not a bad way to go at all. So, what I could do is, we would never commit any crimes to get weed brought to the United States or brought to Florida because, we're trying to be legit. We really are trying to be legit up in this piece, okay? We are. So I would never tell anybody like, hey, go buy some Eddie Edibles and mail it to me in the mail. I'd want you to do that. Don't get me wrong. I just wouldn't recommend that you do that because it's a federal offense. So she has a point, though. The infused ice cream is actually really good. It's one of the few things, I'll be real with you. I'm not big on infused dairy products. I'm not big on infused sodas. Me personally, now there's somebody out there that probably invented this and thinks it's the greatest invention on earth, Me personally, find me a soda that actually tastes like a soda, though, because every weed soda I've ever tasted like I was licking a butthole. It was disgusting. I didn't like it. That's me, though. Don't own mine. Don't own my personal opinion of it, okay? Don't ever do that. Just do yourself a favor. Don't ever own my personal opinion of something. Form your own. But on the flip side, though, I would say that if you like it, that's cool. I just couldn't. To be very honest with you, I really couldn't. So I think I want to get to the fun stuff. And I mean that. I really do. Like, I want to get into the fun stuff. I want to get into the, the Stoner's Cookbook and see what we can come up with. Of course, brought to you by thestonerscookbook.com. I want to get into all that. I do. I really, 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 really do. But before we jump into that, I do want to address this Ted Cruz thing. I think we're starting to get too far. This story, of course, brought to you by the NewYorker.com. There are several different, news and television outlets that are covering this. Being very honest, there are some that are covering this story, okay? But I think that this story resonates with a lot of people because I think a lot of people are on the fence, myself included. I'm going to be very real with you guys. MistaTre, that guy right there you're looking at right now, MistaTre, I have some very, 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 very genuine immigrative roots. My father was from Puerto Rico. On my mom's side of the family, they immigrated here sometime. I don't remember when, but it was way before my mom, though. My mom was born in the States. Grandparents, etc., whatever. But I can tell you that my dad, though, was born in Puerto Rico. And I believe he's only one of two of his siblings that were born there. The rest were born here in the States. But my dad did grow up, U.S. stateside through his teenage years and then spent his entire adult life here. So, with that said, I have some strong feelings about immigration as far as land of the free, home of the brave shit. For real, though. I mean, I really do. When you talk about America and this being America, the land of the free, the home of the brave, etc. Oops. You have to consider that you can't throw everybody out of this country. You can't deny people. Okay, so here's the thing is, if we're going to deny people entrance to this country, I'm not going to sit here and go okay, fine, I'm all for it. No, that's not the case at all, actually. But what I will say is, if we are going to deny people entrance into this country, I think the thing that we really have to consider is we have to consider changing our entire constitution. Legitly. If you want to throw everybody out of this country that comes here as an immigrant, we literally have to consider the possibility of rewriting the Constitution. Now, I think that we are absolutely playing with fire if we do that. I'm trying to get Chris on the phone right now.
Please leave your message for not.
Oh, he must be busy. Okay. So, but I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, I don't want to let immigrants in here because there's a one in literally 1,000, 1 in 5,000, 1 in 10,000 that mean ill will to this country. Right? So I can't let anybody in here because 130 people died, or nearly 130 people are dead in Paris because of letting immigrants. I mean, do the math. 10 people, about 10 people I think are directly involved. There's still a couple at large. There's some people that they've rounded up, and there's some people that are no longer with us because they've chosen to take their own life for this jihad shit. So you're talking about 10 people out of like 100,000 immigrants in France. 10 people. It's less than 1%. It's less than 100th%, actually. I think it might be 1,000th%. America, the land where political prisoners, political people who are killed for political reasons can come. That's America. So like I said, do we risk changing the American dream? Do we risk? Do we do it? Do we make people take a religious test? Chris Rockin says, hi, everybody. He misses you guys. By the way, just a heads up. I like to give the shout out like that to Chris. Like, hey, Chris, thanks for not calling the show, you jerk off. At least turn on the show. Yes. Okay. So, by the way, for all of you that listen live, thank you for the literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you that listen live or that come back and listen later on the on-demand feature on our channel. Thank you for that as well, because thank you. Just thank you for going back and listening on demand. The way we gear the show is that you can listen to it at any time and you can enjoy the show. But if you want to get in the conversation, so again, think about that for a second. Do we deny the American dream to Americans? I mean, to foreigners. Do we deny them a political asylum when that's what we've kind of stood for a very long time? Do we deny them an opportunity to have a safer life in this country? Do we deny that? Can we deny that? Should we deny that? These are questions you really have to ask yourself as an American, because again, on the Statute of Liberty, it says, bring me you're tired, you're hungry, you're weary, you're weak, something to that effect. I might be messing it up. Don't quote me on what the damn Statute of Liberty says. I'm not a civics major, okay? Don't quote me on what the damn exact thing says, but it says something to that effect. Bring me you're tired, you're weary, you're hungry, you're weak. I am the light, I am the way and the light of something or something like that. It has to do with the torch being the golden light to the new land of opportunity, to liberty and freedom. That is why it was given to us as a gift from the French after the Revolutionary War with the British. Because in this country, we stood up against political tyrants. In this country, we fought the Nazis. In this country, we fought the Japanese Empire. In this country, we fought the Germans in World War I. In this country, we stood up against our own countrymen who wanted to keep one specific color a citizen, while all other colors were not citizens. And we stood up and we fought ourselves. I killed my brother with malice in my heart. A quote from one of the Civil War soldiers at Gettysburg. We will kill you in this country. We will kill you in this country, whether you realize it or not. We will kill you dead in this country over freedom. We will fight ourselves over racial tyranny. Tyranny, however you want to pronounce that one. I'm going to go tyranny. It sounds prettier.
Have a good day. Gotta go get that free. Okay.
Again, we will kill each other to prevent racial tyranny in this nation, okay? So when you think about that and you go, I don't want Syrian refugees coming here. I'm not going to lie. When I first heard some of the governors from the 10 states, now I think it's like 13 or 14 states now, Arizona's joined, a couple other states have joined up now, so joined up and saying we're not going to allow refugees. I have to admit, at first, and I'm still, listen, I want to be very, very clear. I am still on the fence about this. I really, really am. I am not sure what to think about this. I really, really don't know what to think about or how to respond. I don't even know if there is a proper response. Really don't. Really don't. I don't know if there's a proper response because I go, people have the right to live free. People have the right to be free from tyranny and oppression. That's a fact. Nobody has the right to tell you that you have to die because you don't believe what they believe. I'll hit you with the Bible for that fact. I'll hit you with the Bible. I will tell you right now, in the Bible, it does not say you have to believe in me. Now, there are the chapters and books, and you can tell who was the extremist in the Bible, believe me, just by the way it's written. But what I'm saying is that in the Bible, it says you have the choice to choose God or not as your Savior. Lord Jesus Christ, blah, 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 all that shit. You have a choice to do that. If you don't, then you go to hell. That's what the Bible says. So, nowhere does it say that I have to believe in your religion. Nowhere in the Constitution of the United States says that I have to believe in your religion. Yet, Senator Ted Cruz, who it's no secret I am not a fan of. I actually can't stand the little prick, and I haven't been able to stand him since the Tea Party's rise back in 2012, trying to overthrow the government, holding the government hostage. You know, why hasn't anybody taken this guy and locked him up? I mean, he is the purest form of Nazi-like regimity there is. We should only accept Christians from Syria, and only Christians, because there's no meaningful risk of Christians committing acts of terror. Bullshit. Timothy McVeigh. That's insane. That's insane. Blows my mind. We're going to get to our first music break real quick. First music break today brought to you by Mr. D, Overdosing, featuring Be Easy. Enjoy the break. We'll see you after the break. You're listening to the Doc on High Tide Stick, of course. Stay with us here. When we get back, we go to the legislative roundup. Your opinions and comments on Ted Cruz. What do you think about that? That Christians don't commit terror attacks. Interesting, right? Catch you on the flip side of the break. I'm the Doc MistaTre. Listen to High Tide Stick Radio. This is live with the Doc. High Tide Stick Radio wants to remind you, never do anything stupid on marijuana. You know, like get busted by your mom and dad smoking in the garage, dipshit. You're on High Tide Stick with the Doc.
Too much, right. Overdosing, I'm in over my head. I say what I should have said. I'm living, it should be dead. I'm coming, you should be scared. I'm coming and I was there. I'm coming, they can't compare. Where I'm going, they never there. I'm alone. All alone in the lane of my own. I'm alone. All alone in the lane of my own. I'm alone. All alone. I'm coming and I was there. I'm coming, they can't compare. Where I'm going, they never there. I'm alone. Overdosing, I'm in over my head. Taking blunts to the head. Coming, you should be scared. Me against the world, I'm Tupac'ing with a Glock. Cause I don't wanna go before my time up on the clock. They say when you on the screen, everybody wanna watch. They say, boy, you at the bottom, you'll never reach the top. Heavy hearted, my emotions got dropped. Maneuver with the moving, man, my motion won't stop. Cause it's money over everything. Maybe even you got a business on the side, man. Maybe even true. They all say they love me, but you know how bitches do. Niggas are falsified, and I just remain true. I said, damn. Scheming while getting Sam, my switch is getting Graham. I hate thinking about that bullshit. And the stress, working real hard without resting. OT till I OD. That's right. Overdosing, I'm in over my head. I say what I should have said. I'm living, it should be dead. I'm coming, you should be scared. I'm coming and I was there. I'm coming, they can't compare. Where I'm going, they never there. I'm alone. All alone in the lane of my own. I'm alone. All alone in the lane of my own. I'm alone. All alone. I'm coming and I was there. I'm coming, they can't compare. Where I'm going, they never there. I'm alone. And I ain't talking in the victim sense. Talking, I'm on a whole nother level. This shit in my sense. About my paper and my sense. I want it all. Nothing less. You smell success, that's been my sense. You fuck me one thing, forget no handkerchief for falling tears. On deaf ears, you telling stories. Disappear, went down and out. But now found when half the glory category. Bitch made that you know ifs and buts about it. And please don't ever doubt it. Fuck your help, I'm here without it. For real. Cause I done made it on my lonesome. With chip on shoulder, chips of soda, feeling like you owe some. Can't expect your intellect to see the real if no none. But how the hell you bite that hand that feeds you when there's no one? They gon' come and go, and I know that shit true. Paint that picture of Van Gogh so you clearly see who the fuck I am. A giant from my point of view. From skyscraper view, what I do see this few. So I'm overdosing, I'm in over my head. I say what I should have said. I'm living, it should be dead. I'm coming, you should be scared. I'm coming and I was there. I'm coming, they can't compare. Where I'm going, they never there. I'm alone. All alone in the lane of my own. I'm alone. All alone in the lane of my own. I'm alone. All alone. I'm coming and I was there. I'm coming, they can't compare. Where I'm going, they never there. I'm alone.
All right, we are back. Interesting discussion on Facebook. You can go ahead and go to my page, or you can go to the High Tide Stick page, and you can join the discussion right now as we're talking about some of the things going on. My last comment, of course, was Ted Cruz, out of his mouth, was quoted as saying that there are no meaningful risks of Christians committing acts of terror. I simply comment and say church bombings, the KKK, Oklahoma Fed bombing, committed acts of terror in America on U.S. soil by Christians, yet they can stay. Tea Party hijacks the government in 2012, stands, lives, and breathes on a Christian doctrine, yet they can stay. And no one calls that terrorism. Shout out to Mr. D, aka Derek Campbell, featuring we just listened to Overdose and featuring Be Easy by him on here on High Tide Stick. We're gonna get away from this Ted Cruz thing. I just think that every time this guy opens his mouth, he just shows how much of a fucking dipshit he really is. My concern with Ted Cruz is very simple. Like I said, you're basically saying that the antidote for terrorism is to be Christian. That's bullshit. That's the biggest crock of shit I've heard in a long time. I mean, you're impervious to being a terrorist because you're a Christian. First off, Christians went around this globe terrorizing people long before anybody else. In the name of God, the Spanish conquered half the globe. In the name of God, the French conquered most of Northern Africa. In the name of God, the English conquered most of South Africa and North America. All in the name of God. Nobody called that terrorism. Columbus Day. Interesting though. I really don't. I'm really like disturbed by that because when I think about that, I go, really, guys, like, really? I don't even know how to explain that, to be honest with you. Like, how do I tell my kids? How do I tell my kids that this is no longer the land of the free and the home of the brave? How do I tell my kids that the words that are uttered on the bottom of the Statue of Liberty are a lie? How do I tell my kids that we celebrate a holiday for Christopher Columbus, a man who single-handedly eradicated over 200 tribes of Native Americans in the U.S.? By all accounts, Christopher Columbus makes Hitler look like a fucking saint. For all accounts. We give him a fucking holiday. But Ted Cruz says, you have to be Christian to come to America. You got to be Christian to come to America. Look, dude, if we followed your fucking policies, you wouldn't exist in this country, buddy, because your ass would still be in fucking Cuba where your parents came from. I'm half white, half American, whatever, half white, half American. My dad's from Puerto Rico, so only half of me would exist. But you wouldn't exist at all, motherfucker. I cannot believe that you would use terrorism as a way to prevent people from getting away from terrorism. Does anybody else see that? We're going to move on, though. I could spend an entire hour-long show talking about this idiot. That's how much of a fucking moron Ted Cruz really is. Fit to lead this country? He isn't fit to lead a fucking daycare center based off those statements. It was another huge week in the fight to legalize marijuana across the United States. Some of the biggest news comes from the District of Columbia, where the U.S. Senate voted to make medical marijuana available to veterans. Other highlights include another push in Ohio to legalize a recreational marijuana market in 2016, and news that 2 marijuana initiatives in Massachusetts may join forces to ensure the end of prohibition at the next election. This, of course, coming to us from our legal analyst over at High Times Magazine, the great Mike Adams. Shout out to Mike Adams again over at High Times Magazine. Love you, dude. First one, federal. U.S. Senate passes a bill to allow veterans to access medical marijuana. The United States Senate passed a measure last week that could allow veterans living in medical marijuana states to have access to those programs without issue. Lawmakers voted to approve a a portion of the FY 2016 Military Construction and Veterans Affairs Appropriation Bill, which will stop the federal government from spending funds to prevent VA doctors from discussing medical marijuana with their patients. The bill would also protect veterans who don't take advantage of their state's medical marijuana programs. Massachusetts, 2 groups battling it out to legalize weed. 2 groups are fighting each other to legalize marijuana statewide in 2016. The campaign to regulate marijuana like alcohol and Bay State repeal have both launched signature collecting campaigns in the hopes of getting their respective initiatives on the ballot next year. Both need around 65,000 signatures by the beginning of December to qualify. If they are both successful, voters have to choose between the 2 proposals. However, there's a possibility that 2 groups may join forces to prevent confusion at the polls. I think that that's smart. I think that if 2 people with the same plan go up against each other, you're going to screw each other. You're probably better off joining forces. Now, this is a lot like Republicans and Democrats in regular politics. Sometimes the ultimate outcome may be the same, but the path or the road to get there is where they don't see eye to eye. And that's probably why there's 2 groups. There should never be 2 groups trying to legalize marijuana in any state. Seriously. Not when you're trying to do the same thing. Well, I don't like Dave because Dave's plan makes us do it this way. I'm cooler than Dave. I'm smarter than Dave. So we have to do it this way. Get the hell out of here. Kansas, group working to legalize medical marijuana. Bleeding Kansas, a group working to legalize marijuana across the state, are working to get the state's legislature to open to discuss the issue of medical marijuana once the season resumes. A report from KSNT indicates the organization is currently collecting signatures for their petition that they hope to present to the state lawmakers in early 2016. In Arizona, a ballot initiative has over 100,000 signatures already. Arizona is on its way to legalizing a statewide cannabis industry. This is one of those like teeth in the meat anti-marijuana states. I'm from Arizona. I'm telling you right now, we feared a crumb of a nugget. We feared a seed from a pot plant. We feared a seed because one seed on your floorboard, if you got pulled over, you got a class 6 felony back in the day. Now, the campaign to legalize marijuana like alcohol announced that they have collected 100,000 signatures. The group still needs around 50,000 more to make it on the November ballot next year, which shouldn't be an issue considering they have until July of 2016 to make it happen, and they're already 2/3 of the way there. In Ohio, here's a good one. In Ohio, I got a big family. It's like my family has made the tree of states today because I have a good chunk of family in Massachusetts. The cousin that I roommate with here in Florida is originally from Massachusetts. She grew up in Ohio, but she was born in Massachusetts. I don't have any ties to Kansas that really matter to me, no legit ties. Arizona, I mean, if I do, I'm sorry for forgetting anybody. You know what? My little brother, Jesse, he's not my real brother, but he is from Kansas. There you go. Arizona is where I'm from. Ohio is where my mom's entire side of her family pretty much is from. And it says Ohio marijuana advocates. Oh, New Jersey, my family, Colorado, where I live, Florida, where I live, Washington, where my uncle lives, and North Carolina, where my aunt lives. So we have my family has literally rounded up legislative roundup locations here. So let's get through this. Ohio marijuana advocates are picking up the pieces of the responsible Ohio debacle and moving forward with a more sensible plan to legalize marijuana in 2016. Legalize Ohio are campaigning to put the Cannabis Control Amendment on the ballot next year. The purpose seeks to legalize recreational marijuana without a monopolizing market. No shit. They still need about 360,000 signatures by the end of July or by the beginning of July. So a lot of work to be done in Ohio. If you live in Ohio and you're a part of the movement, you really want to get on that. New Jersey, medical marijuana bill signed by Governor Christie. We covered this yesterday, so we'll just brief it real quick. Again, he signed a bill into law last week that started yesterday that allows patients to have medical marijuana administered in schools. And I'm talking about, i.e., elementary school, middle school, and high school. I think it's a good bill. I think it's a step in the right direction. I still think that it falls short, and here's why. Because only a caregiver or the parent can come administer the medicine, which means the whole idea of getting the schools to allow these children to have their medicine in school is to alleviate the pressures of the parents having to come get them out of school just to give them medicine and bring them back, having to do this. Well, so if the parent still has to stop everything they're doing, or the caregiver still has to stop everything they're doing just to go over to the school and give medicine, I think that that's where the bill falls short. I think that Governor Christie failed the residents and the children of New Jersey in this bill by not allowing the school nurses to take some type of uptraining program if they run into. So here's what it is: you come to the school, you register your kid. On one of the registration boxes, it says, "Does your kid take any medications which could be deemed illegal on school property?" So you don't want to. Don't make this about weed. Make this about consumption of medication. And there should be a box or a little checkbox that says, "Do your children take any medications which could be deemed illegal or inappropriate on school grounds?" You check that box. That puts you into a phone call from a representative from the school who calls and finds out what that medicine is. When it's marijuana, in any case, the school nurse should get an email that says, "This year we will be having a student attend who has medical marijuana prescribed to them as their medication. You will need to complete this online course by blank date in order to remain in your job so that you can administer this medicine." We pay millions in tax dollars for a fucking nurse to sit there and give my kid an aspirin or call me because they have a fever. It's time to fucking earn your money, nurses. And I'm not mad at you. Don't get it. Don't ever take my frustration with a legal document as mad at an individual. I am not mad at the nurses or the schools of New Jersey or America for that matter. Disappointed that education should be at the forefront of anything in the world. Education is why things change. Education is why we are where we're at now. We have educated ourselves to the quality and ability of marijuana. And because of that, the world is changing right in front of our faces. There's a movement beyond your wildest dreams right in front of our faces right now going on. But we got to do it right, people. We can't sit there and turn around and say, yes, you can give your kid weed, but you have to leave work to come give your kid their medicine. Well, if my kid has a fucking inhaler and they're having an asthma attack, you're going to give them an inhaler, right? You're going to, and then they're going to breathe again, and my kid doesn't have to die of an asthma attack at school today. But if my kid's having a seizure that could take their life, you'll give them medication that can kill them. But you won't administer a medication that clearly has minimal to no side effects when it comes to that actual epileptic seizure, as an example. You won't give them that. You'll let my kid lie there and die on the floor because you won't give them the medicine that I chose as the parent. My constitutional right as a parent is to choose how to treat my children. I don't like the bill in Jersey. I'm still pissed off about it. I'm glad we covered it yesterday because it took a whole fucking segment. Colorado working to put tighter rules on doctors. The Colorado State Medical Board is working on to draft regulations for a medical marijuana program that will place more restrictions on physicians to make medical marijuana recommendations. In September, a preliminary set of rules was released, which received an almost immediate chastising by many patients and businesses that worry that the state is trying to eliminate the medical sector. The latest guidelines, which are set to be presented at a hearing on November 19th, still have some worry that many patients will be forced to go back to the black market sector. I agree because the thing is and I'll use Colorado Springs as a great example of this. You have El Paso County that says you can't have a recreational pot dispensary in the county. You have then you have Manitou Springs, which is in the county, that's a city or a township, and says, well, here in Manitou Springs you can. Colorado Springs says, city council and mayor says no. Pueblo says yes. Boulder says yes. Denver says yes. So when you look at these things and you go, okay, everybody's saying that you can't have recreational pot shops, but you can have medical pot shops. Okay, fine, fair enough. But here's the problem. If I had to take alcohol, okay, let's just use alcohol as an example. If I had to take alcohol as my medication, you're telling me that you would want me to have to drive from a dry county to a not dry county just to get my medicine? See, that's where the lines are blurred. That's where, if you want the truth, the recreational industry fucked up the medical marijuana industry to all high hell in Colorado. Legitimately fucked it up. There's no way around saying that. There's just no way around it. It really is. There's just no way around it. And that sucks. Disappointed. 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 We're going to go to a music break. I'm stuffed up, by the way, still. I have had a hard time kicking this congestion. Anyway, we're going to go to music break. Here's a little drinks for everybody featuring Roy Jones Jr. by a two-piece. Enjoy. We'll be right back after the break. You're listening to High Tide Stick with the Doc on High Tide Stick Radio. Get in the conversation. You're listening to the Doc on High Tide Stick. The Doc's here to remind you that drinking and driving kills people every single day. Smoking and driving just kills me because you won't speed up. You're on High Tide Stick with the Doc.
It's my birthday, just face it. Yeah. Roy Jones, no amateur. This here finna be a movie, so I hope you got your camera right. Fake card, say Fargo. Left back in my cargo. Last call for alcohol, did the same thing tomorrow. Come on, it's my birthday and now. 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 Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody. Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody. It's my birthday and now. 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 Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody. Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody. Yeah, her body call up Earl. All over my shoes. Today is my birthday. I'm gonna act it like a fool. Drinks on me, I got it. Draw on me, I got it. VIP on me, I got it. You don't even need to wallet. He'll dance or make a dance. Then watch me throw this money. He'll all my dogs ballin'. This spinning it ain't nothing. Yeah, it's my birthday. Buy the whole entire bar. Forget being a rapper. Tonight I'm a superstar. Face down, no hate. Face down, no hate. If you ain't got a big booty, then you ain't got no chance. But get me when I'm on it. Everybody leave. Bartender still pour, so I'ma drink, believe it. It's my birthday and now. 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 Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody. Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody. It's my birthday and now. 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 Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody. Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody. It's my birthday, stop. Rich baby, I'm ballin'. But I hope all straight cash. Yeah, come home, it's on that gas. 3 o'clock in the morning. See 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 5 big booties. And no love from horny. Let go, wild and hot, no drinking. 230 racks, I'm banking. These girls said it ain't ready. I know all love just faking. No, why? Then I turn up. Pull a seat to the side. The baddest in the club just to see how good she tried. All I'm seeing is money. All I'm seeing is money. Whole club for walk. And all I'm seeing is money. Last call and I'm behind. The other dudes in line. It's my birthday and I murdered this. Felony. It's my birthday and now. 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 Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody. Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody. It's my birthday and now. 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 Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody. Drink for everybody, everybody, everybody.
You're listening to the Doc MistaTre. Yeah, I'm a real doctor, like Dr. Phil's a doctor. Yeah. but I'm a sexy, bald, tan, tatted up, pierced doctor. You know, like the doctors you never see at the hospital doctors. Yeah. Dr. Trey. That's right. You're listening to the High Tide Stick. I'm the Doc MistaTre. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're back. Last segment before we get out of here today. We're not gonna waste our time going to him. There we go. So again, as we get ready to get to the Taco Tuesday portion of the show, because you know we can't have a Taco Tuesday show without talking tacos. No matter what happens in this beautiful country of ours, I just can't believe some of this stuff sometimes in the news. I can't. Really can't. Just can't. So we're going to talk about the infusion of cannabis and cannabis foods. Now, Wikipedia defines cannabis foods including hash brownies, pot brownies, and space cakes. I love space cakes, by the way. Shout out to the maker, the original maker of space cakes. All this is more informally known as edibles. Edibles are food products that are made with cannabis in herbal or resin form as an ingredient. They are consumed as an alternate delivery means to the experience and the effects of cannabinoids without smoking or vaporizing cannabinoids or hash. Instead, the cannabinoids are put into cakes, cookies, brownies, and other foods, and then they are consumed for recreational or medical purposes. Pretty simple definition. Thank you, Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. We love you, Wikipedia. I love you, Wikipedia. So, I love edibles, okay? Edibles are absolutely an experience. They're not just, it's not just weed, bro. Uh-oh, we missed a call from Chris. That's my fault too, because I had the we'll call him back right now. We'll call Chris back right now. I had the volume down on the phone. I didn't even know it rang. I try to keep it to where it rings in my headphones, and I didn't have it set up, so I feel bad now.
What it isn't.
What it isn't, brother. Hey, by the way, I actually turned the channel. These are the fuck ups that you make accidentally in our line of work. I turned down the channel that had the volume to the phone on. So essentially, I turned down the only fucking way I'd hear the phone ring. Because it's plugged into the soundboard, so there's no outward ringing. It doesn't ring out loud.
Oh, yeah, it rings through your headphones, don't it?
Well, yeah, but what I need to do is I just need to turn it back, like the actual ringer volume on the phone back up on it, like the output ringer volume, just like a couple clicks. So in case I accidentally turned down that channel or something like I did, because I thought you weren't going to be able to call, so I just turned it down. I didn't have any other guests scheduled today.
I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to or not.
Yeah, I know you're busy. It's crop season.
That it is.
So I'll give you a quick briefing on what we already covered. If you want to chime in on any of that, please feel free. We covered Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz was quoted as saying that, here we go. Let me get the exact quote. There is no meaningful risk of Christians committing acts of terror. Okay? And so he wants a Christian test for Syrian refugees to be able to come into this country. My response to that was church bombings, the KKK, the Oklahoma Federal Building bombing, all acts of terror in America by U.S. citizens on soil that claim to be Christians. The Tea Party hijacked the government in 2012, yet we don't call that terror.
Right.
That was my response, and I put that online, actually.
Yeah, I've seen that. And didn't a lot of the other candidates say, that's just racism.
Yeah, you are a bigot. You are being a bigot to these people, whether you realize it or not.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, you're still racism, bigotry, whatever word pop culture word we're going to call it. You're right, though. It's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly the same thing. And I can't believe Trump said it.
Me too. I can believe, I hate to say it, but if it's coming from the GOP side, especially the guy who wants to build a wall and throw out, and I'm going to throw out 11 million Americans. Okay, yeah, no. I expect that out of you. Ted Cruz, Tea Party guy. Except for the fact that his parents are immigrants, I'm not surprised he said it.
Right.
Except for the fact that his parents are immigrants. I have never seen a country to where, like much like ours, where you are here because of that fact, and you still insist on being this sort of bigot. And that's what, and if you ask me, that's what, if you ask me, I guess the right way to word it would be is that's the problem in this country is. It's like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like winning the lotto. I got lucky enough to get here, so fuck everybody else.
Right. And here's my thing. We don't need discrimination against other countries. We need heavier regulations.
Yes, I hate to say it, but I side with my Democratic Party on a lot of stuff. But one thing I've never really settled with them on was the whole making government bigger. I think that sometimes it's a necessity, but most of the time I'd rather not, because it does really cost us more money. Let's be honest with the GOP and what they say. To have more regulation means you have to have more money to have somebody there to regulate it. So I get that.
Right.
I get that.
Right. But you can't fucking send that 300,000 fucking Mexicans or immigrants.
Oh, it's 11 million illegal or undocumented Mexican Americans.
Right. Whatever the number is.
It's a lot.
But it's incircumstantial. It doesn't really matter how many there is. We just need to regulate how people come across the border, how people get passports, visas. You don't just let anybody here. We can't these days.
We can't, and that's see, you're like me. I'm torn as a Democrat, as a man whose family read the words on that fucking Statue of Liberty when they came through New York Harbor. My own family, my father. It means something to me. I mean, it fucking means something to me. Give me you're weak, you're tired, you're weary, you're hungry. The motherfuckers that nobody wanted, give them to me and I'll make something out of them. It means something. You have to tear that fucking statue down if you start telling people they can't come here for political asylum. Now, the question is, how do you do it without putting people who are here, who were born here, and who really legitimately have a right to be here at risk? That's the real question.
Right. It's ludicrous.
It's insane.
Our people in the government have turned our Constitution upside down. They've turned the ideals and thoughts of our founding fathers sideways, and they're shitting on them.
Absolutely. Dude, we've been dealing with homegrown and non-homegrown terrorism since the Revolutionary War. Everybody fucking forgets about Benedict Arnold. He was a homegrown terrorist. He was feeding information to the British on us. And he wasn't the only one. He was just the one that did it at such a large scale that he became the country's first recognized traitor.
Right.
So this isn't new shit. Read a fucking history book.
Right. It's been going on for centuries.
Exactly. By the way, chocolate dominates the Cannabis Cup winners. I forgot to tell you about that. No, I'm not surprised. I know you're probably not either, but I'm just saying, like, everything that won was cakes. It wasn't none of the fools. But I did post something to the link that I have you tagged in. It says oven roasted chicken thighs with green. It looks delicious, by the way. That's my Taco Tuesday food for the day. Is I didn't want to go to dessert cakes because I knew we'd have to talk about them anyway. We'll probably talk about them tomorrow. And I don't know what time the show is tomorrow because I only knew that I had to work at 9 o'clock this morning our time, so I did the show at 7 like I always do when I work at 9. But so I'm not sure what time the show is tomorrow, but tomorrow I want to cover this recipe. We're going to talk about it, and then I want to if you want to be on the show with me tomorrow, by all means, because we're literally like down to the last 60 seconds here. So if you want to be on the show with me tomorrow, I'm completely okay with that. We'll talk about maybe some of the changes we would make to that recipe.
Yeah, I have time tomorrow for sure. I should be done harvesting today.
Cool. I'm kind of jealous. I missed harvesting.
Hey, I want to talk to you off record later about something too.
Okay, I get off at 6, or 5 or 6. So why don't you just call me after 6 on the same phone on the studio line? Because I'll be home.
Okay.
And we'll talk.
Okay. All right.
All right. I appreciate having you on the show, bro. As always, you know that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sucker fish.
Sucker fish. So that was Chris Watkins, of course. That's our Michigan insider chiming in and jumping in at the end of the call here, or at the end of the show here. We'll get him back on tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about some of the things that we were talking about. I'm going to get out of here. This has been, of course, High Tide Stick for Taco Tuesday. Again, shout out to the Cannabis Cup winners for chocolate. We posted that to the link from this show on Facebook. We'll post something on Twitter later, so we'll get around to it. I am absolutely about the biggest rush I've been in a while today, so I have to get out of here and get out of the studio. It has been my pleasure to bring you High Tide Stick today. Shout out to all the people out there in Colorado. We miss you guys. Woke up this morning, missed you guys a lot more than I normally do. Closing music today. We're going to go with the Deja Vu theme song, She Got It. Here you go. Enjoy. By MistaTre and RDP.
You know you got it.
Real talk.
Ooh, you know you got it. Girl, you know you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Ooh, you know you got it. Girl, you know you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Girl, you got it.
Darren and Terrell reach out to the door. And ladies to the left, to the right, bad chicks on the floor. This one Christy, that one Deja. I'll take your white chick, sexy chocolate and Asia. Last and child pulling back, that's my major. Richard Day, if you're exclusive before the damn page. What's in my name is Chastity, I'm a real player. This the baby girl, she ain't deep, I don't care. I mean, can you blame me, blame me? She said 10 phones, 6, please don't save me. I told the young sexy brown, a nice baby. Good Lord. Completely clear. I said I like guys. She said they call me Kitty. I like this slang, MistaTre. By the way, my real name's Cruz. She got it.
Ooh, you know you got it. Girl, you know you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Ooh, you know you got it. Girl, you know you got it. 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 You got it.
Shabu, ladies really like to party. On the main stage, no clothes, on the body. Swinging for the whole body, grinding so naughty. Step to the flow, make it bang like a shot. Both keep throwing it, I'ma catch a Jerry shot. Whipping in my ear with my dickies on the stack. Tell me, can I drive it? I'm a king in the rock. Drink and I fake, shake. Are you ready? Take, body to the face. No weed got me shades, Lily got me shades. Stop shaking for that bass. Just the club is never vacant. Come and spit your flame. Tell Leslie what you're drinking. No back of house, nobody getting wasted. Begging with the taking, keep my pockets stinking. I be up in here like,
ooh, you know you got it. Girl, you know you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Ooh, you know you got it. Girl, you know you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Girl, you got it. You got it.